Hi, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It's been fun seeing so many people join this group, although it's not a great sign because that means that so many of us are struggling with insomnia, which I hate seeing. But I want to give you some answers. I want to give you some hope. So that is definitely my intention. So please let me know what questions you have. Please post them in the group or ask me on this live. And I would love to get to know you more and what's going on with your sleep and see how I can help you. Now, today I want to talk about something called adrenal fatigue. Maybe you've heard of it, especially if you have some of those symptoms. So, this is a main one is fatigue or this feeling exhausted all the time, especially when you wake up, and then also having crashes of energy or crashes throughout the day and kind of this roller coaster of energy where sometimes you feel good and then you crash. So that is a main symptom of what is called adrenal fatigue. Other things are, not responding well to stress, not being able to regulate your mood very well, brain fog or that cloudy thinking, um, being tired in the morning, but then having increased energy levels in the evening when it's time to go to bed, cravings for salty and sweet foods, overusing caffeine and other stimulants to stay awake, a compromised immune system, so that could be getting sick often, and insomnia. So, one of my clients, RC, had most of these symptoms. She couldn't sleep, she was tired all the time, and she felt like she couldn't handle stress at all. Like any little thing that happened to her felt super stressful. And I'll tell you the rest of her story in a little bit. But if you have some of these symptoms, then you may have been told that you have adrenal fatigue, or if you look it up on the internet, that's what you're going to find. And this is actually a misnomer. It's not an appropriate term because the name makes it sound like something is wrong with your adrenal glands, which is most likely not the case. This only happens with the autoimmune condition Addison's disease, where your body is attacking the adrenal glands, but this is really uncommon. So it's usually not the adrenal glands themselves. Instead, your adrenals are part of this HPA axis, or this hypothalamus pituitary adrenal system. So, to put it simply, the hypothalamus sends signals to the pituitary, which sends signals to the adrenal glands to make cortisol and other hormones. And so, the premise behind adrenal fatigue is that your adrenals can't keep up with the stress in your life to make enough cortisol to deal with that stress. And the medical and scientific communities don't believe this condition exists, and that's because that's actually not what happens. What happens is that as your body becomes desensitized to stress hormones like cortisol, then that whole HPA axis starts breaking down. So the hypothalamus might not produce enough hormones to signal the pituitary because of medications or toxins or circadian rhythm issues. The pituitary might have low hormones because of receptor problems or neurotransmitter balance. The adrenals can also lose sensitivity to those signaling hormones. And so, if any of these things happen, you can experience symptoms of adrenal fatigue, even though your adrenals are functioning just fine. What's actually happening is that you are in what's called metabolic chaos. This simply means that your body is breaking down. Things aren't working correctly anymore. And as one system of your body doesn't work correctly, as it starts breaking down, then that affects other systems of your body. And so your different parts of your body keep breaking down and you keep getting more and more symptoms. And this is what I talked about in the live last week. So if you missed that, then go back and check it out to learn more about metabolic chaos. But when this happens, you can be tired but wired and you can't sleep because your hormones are out of balance, your gut is unhealthy, your minerals are messed up. Like I said, it's affecting all the different systems in your body. So trying to fix your adrenals isn't going to solve the problem. Finding out what's causing your body to make excess cortisol is what you want to figure out. So if you're under a lot of mental or emotional stress, your body can start breaking down. That's why so many of us get insomnia after a stressful or traumatic event, like going through a divorce or a family member getting sick or dying. There can also be physiological stressors going on in your body that you don't know about that are causing your body to continuously have to make cortisol. And eventually, different parts of that HPA axis can't function properly. So, when your body has to make a lot of cortisol to deal with stress, it doesn't have enough resources to make other hormones, like sex hormones, so they can get depleted. Mental stress is going to affect your digestion, damage your gut wall, which is going to make you more susceptible to infections from pathogens and more likely to react to foods and get food sensitivities. Chronic stress depletes certain minerals like potassium and magnesium, which leads to excess calcium and other mineral imbalances. So all of this stress leads to more stress in the body, which leads to your body breaking down, which leads to more stress in your body. And so that's why you start developing symptoms like insomnia, fatigue, and eventually different diseases and disorders. So back to my client, RC, through lab testing, we found out that she had many physical stressors going on. So she had a bacteria called H. pylori and C. difficile and a parasite. Her estrogen and progesterone were extremely low from being on birth control. And her cortisol was depleted from chronic stress, and that's both mental and physical. So we worked on her gut, her hormones, and her stress, and within 3 months, she was sleeping great. So, because both mental and physical stressors affect your body, I help my clients address both of those so they can restore their health and sleep like a normal person. And so I use functional lab testing to get the big picture of what's going on in your body so we know what to work on. And then I use some cognitive behavioral techniques, some life coaching skills to help you with your sleep anxiety and your stress in general, because chronic emotional stress is going to affect your body too. So if you aren't sleeping and you are tired all the time and you want to get to the bottom of it and fix it, then let's talk. I will put a link to a call with me below so you can easily find out how to get in touch with me. And we'll talk about what's going on with your sleep. And I'll tell you how we can find out what's going on in your body and your mind that is keeping you awake at night, because I want you to get the sleep that you want to get. Thanks for listening, and I will see you in the group.